In this week's video, I want to talk to you about hypnotherapy for IBS, also known as gut-directed hypnotherapy, and help you to understand its major benefits when it comes to taking back control of your gut and reducing IBS symptoms long term. Because when it comes to IBS, it can be really hard to get control over what's happening inside of your gut, and conventional treatments such as medication and restrictive diets often fail to give long-term relief. And for a lot of people, they just don't want to feel like they're dependent on medication, or they have to restrict the foods that they're eating. And this is where gut-directed hypnotherapy comes in. Because what a lot of people don't know is that hypnotherapy for IBS has close to 40 years of research behind it, and has been shown time and time again to be extremely effective at not just improving IBS symptoms, but also helping you to get your life back. In fact, on average, it sees a symptom reduction of over 80%. So if you've been struggling with IBS and you're looking to get some long-term relief, then definitely keep on watching. Now, if you're new here, my name is Jane Corner, and I've been helping clients take back control of their IBS symptoms for the last 4 years using gut-directed hypnotherapy and CBT. It's an approach that is completely free from medication and free from restrictive diets. And I'll pop the link for you to learn more about my programs just down below this video. So given how I work with clients, it's no surprise that gut-directed hypnotherapy plays a huge part. And I've personally witnessed some phenomenal results and transformations, even with clients who have been struggling with IBS symptoms for decades. So let's dive in and let me take you through 5 of the major benefits of this approach so you can decide if this is the right approach for you. Now, the first and the most obvious benefit is that it can significantly improve your gut symptoms. Study after study after study demonstrate that between 70 to 80% of the people who undertake a program of hypnotherapy for IBS will see a reduction in their symptoms. Now, this reduction in symptoms applies whether this is for IBS-C, IBS-D, or a reduction in pain, bloating, or gas. In fact, hypnotherapy for IBS can work across all gut symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome because of the way it works directly to enhance the brain-gut connection. Now, another common symptom which often goes hand in hand with IBS is unfortunately anxiety. And to be honest, who can really say which came first? Now, unlike taking medication or changing your diet, the great thing about hypnotherapy for irritable bowel syndrome, and this is benefit number 2, is how much it can really help to reduce your anxiety and bring you back to a state of calm inside. No longer do you have to be at the mercy of those anxious thoughts and constantly feeling as though you have to play it safe. This is a huge benefit for the clients that I work with. Being able to reduce your level of anxiety means that you can start saying yes instead of saying no. It means that you can finally start to do all the things that you've been too afraid or anxious to do because of how your gut may react. This could include heading away for the weekend, heading out to see a band playing, or just being able to drive an hour in the car to see your friend. Anxiety is such a debilitating symptom when it comes to IBS, and it doesn't have to be. So let's talk now about benefit number 3, which is the ability for hypnotherapy to reduce or remove the fear around food and eating. Now, all too often when clients start working with me, they've developed a fear around food after following a restrictive diet such as the low FODMAP diet or from an elimination diet. This means that they struggle to reintroduce different foods back into their life because of what may happen. There's often a history of what has happened in the past when they've eaten those types of food, and sometimes even the sight of that food can really fire up the levels of anxiety, which unfortunately can lead to a flare-up in symptoms because of the way that stress impacts upon the digestive system. But using different techniques in hypnosis and also different approaches in CBT, we can actually reduce this anxiety and this fear so you can get back to eating all of the things that you love. Now, benefit number 4 is really incredible when it comes to hypnotherapy, and that is results and symptom reduction can be long lasting. Now, many times when clients finish with me, they ask whether they need to keep listening to their hypnosis recordings, which is something they get access to inside of the programs. And the answer is no. This is completely different from the conventional approaches which you may be used to, such as medication or a change in your diet that you have to follow indefinitely to keep your symptoms at bay. In fact, the longest study ever conducted in this area showed improvements after a program of hypnotherapy lasting for 5 years. So I hope by now you're really starting to build up a picture of just how amazing this approach to managing IBS is. But we're not done. We still have one more amazing benefit that I'd like to talk to you about. So benefit number 5 is something I see clients really embracing if they've been struggling with IBS for a significant amount of time. And that is rebuilding confidence and trust in their body again. Because here's the thing, when your body doesn't behave in the way that you want it to or you expect it to, you start to lose trust and confidence in it. Now, usually digestion happens without us even being aware. It sort of takes place behind the scenes. But with IBS, of course, things are a little different. And your body and your gut start to feel outside of your control. And when things feel outside of your control, you start to feel frustrated. You start to feel anger, perhaps some sadness, and a lot of the time you feel confused. What also happens is that your confidence takes a downward spiral. But the good news is that when you use an approach such as hypnotherapy to help get your IBS symptoms back under control, you also build back the confidence which you may have lost, which is huge. Having confidence and trust in your body to function in the way that nature intended frees you up in so many ways. Just knowing that your gut's not going to start playing up on a car trip or worrying about whether you'll be okay for a social event next weekend means that you can finally take your life off pause and get back to doing what you love. You can start planning in advance and spontaneity can be back on the menu. So now I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. Did you find this video helpful? What was your biggest takeaway? Let me know. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos on helping you take back control of your IBS. And if you want to dive into the 5 underlying reasons behind painful IBS flare-ups and understand what's really going on inside of your gut, you can download my free ultimate guide to reducing painful IBS flare-ups just down below. In this guide, you'll discover why your gut can sometimes leave you doubled over in agony and what can help to relieve painful spasms, in addition to learning how even the most severe IBS gut pain is not always a sign of something sinister. I'll link the guide just down below this video, so make sure you go and check it out. Thank you as always for joining me in this week's video, and I will see you in the next one.